So, hello everyone. My name is Tzion Arel, and I'm co-founder and CEO of IXDen. And we are a new company in OurCrowd. We're just 1 month here in the family. And I'm going to cover cybersecurity also and fintech in our solution. This is a typical operation of a critical infrastructure where you can find many sensors connected to PLCs and RTUs, sending information any minute to a decision maker in the control center. And one of the things that we saw in IoT devices that they are very weak because there are lack of operation system, there are lack of footprint, there are even lack of ability to use standard security solution as PKI or others. And we saw that if we're not actually secure them on the data at source, before the data is going into those decision making, there's going to be a big problem. And we see there is going to be 40 billion devices all around us in the next few years, so that can be a big problem. So what we look for is a way to make sure that the data that goes to the controller, to the PLCs, are not faked, because if there is going to be fake data, it's going to be a disaster. So we are focusing, as I said, in a very unique approach on the IoT. We are looking at the data at source on the device itself. What we develop is a software which include two anchors. The first anchor is we're using a biometric solution, kind of a way to create a biometric device identity for any sensor, any small sensor it can be, or a PLC or a big controller. We are creating for it a biometric device, the same way that you're looking at a human face and creating an ability to recognize the face by different parameters, which we call biometric. We do the same approach for a device. So we are collecting, using our agents and the small software data to the server side, which is there. And on the server, because we have so many data that comes on a continuously basis, we're being able to perform multi-factor authentication using our machine learning and AI and all the historical data. So actually, we're looking at the behavior of any device. And once we see that something on the behavior, it's not something that we saw in the historical way, we can stop the transaction. That calls multi-factor authentication. And the metaphor that we can say is when you're going to a bank and get the money, usually we've been asked 1 or 2 questions. We are able to ask 30 to 40 different questions, any transaction in any IoT, which means that we can come up to a 99.8 or 9% in ability to know that this is my device. This is my device that even been installed 15 or 20 years ago, and it's stuck in one of the deserts in the electric company or water company. So that's the idea of the solution. We are doing right now 2 POCs. The first one is with Motorola solution, which we are actually protecting a type of homeland security operations. We are looking forward to do smart cities, an electric company and water company. Actually, it's the same concept of SCADA operation, ICS, and a lot of sensors and PLCs around. So that's the first area that we are working today. The second area, which is the fintech, which Jeremy mentioned, we are actually working with Visa, the international company in Visa, on the Iot Payments, actually payment that is being made by an autonomous car or a smart home device, which you don't have any person to authenticate because it's done independently. So what we're using the same concept that we developed in order to make sure that this is your device, so nobody is actually act and take your ID and make a fraud. And one of the things that we are going to do with this after the POC is actually to go to PSD2, because on PSD2 regulation in the open banking this year, you actually require the multi-factor authentication for those transactions. In terms of the company, we are about a year and a half on the road, which, as I just said, we are completed the seed round just now. We raised fund. We have been in the accelerator in Tel Aviv also. We are 3 founders in the company. My background, that's my second company. I was one of the foundation of Pango. It's a very famous mobile parking, and I was a CEO there for 8 years. My partners, Dr. Leonid Cooperman, was a senior position in Amdocs and also in Fintech, so we have a fintech background also, understand. And our Uri came from Microsoft Cyber team in the US. And the vision of the company, because we see the IoT device is a major thing, is we believe that we want to be embedded in the IoT device in the time of manufacture. So when it comes up to, to the vendor, it's already been produced. So our vision is to be the RSA for the IoT. Thank you very much. And if you have any question, I'll be around to give you answer.